There's talk that Paramount is making a hostile move on Warner Brothers. And this isn't about ego or bragging rights, it's about Netflix. Hollywood's biggest studios are realizing they can't beat Netflix alone anymore. So this move isn't Paramount versus Warner. It's a last-ditch attempt to build something big enough to actually scare Netflix. Who would have ever thought we would have said a statement like that 10 years ago? The question is, does this create a real challenger or prove Netflix already won? Let's clear everything up immediately. This isn't Paramount waking up saying, we want Warner Brothers, we want everything under the sun. Yeah, join, let's get them on our umbrella. This is Paramount looking at Netflix and saying, we can't beat them alone. We can't allow them to grow as much as they will from this deal. All these rights from Warner Brothers, they're going to really have a large controlling real estate into our business. Like, we cannot allow this monster that really came from humble beginning, because I remember at one point Netflix was trying to get bought by somebody, and they got rejected from this one, that one, this one, that one. And we look back 10 years, 15 years later, Netflix is running the motherfucking show, and shout out to them, worth almost $500 billion. So yeah, I think a lot of people are taking note of just how big Netflix is getting and continuing to grow, and they're looking like, hey, we can't allow Netflix to keep eating our lunch globally, because there is a real estate globally that a lot of these studios have and can control. Netflix has scale, global reach, a unified platform, endless content. Paramount alone cannot compete with that. Buying Warner Brothers is the fastest shortcuts to become relevant. Warner Brothers give Paramount what Netflix has. Let's just go. If Paramount absorbs Warner's, they instantly gain HBO Prestige, which is kind of Netflix's weakest area as in prestige content. They control DC, Harry Potter, Warner Brothers TV library, decades of global IP recognition, and a stronger international footprint. This isn't about more content. It's about prestige quality plus volume. Netflix wins on quality most of the time, but HBO wins on prestige. And together, look, Paramount says if Netflix get a hold of both of those aspects, it's dangerous. And how this is laid out, I kind of get to thinking, like, this Netflix is going to be stomping with the big dogs. It's no more like, oh, it's Netflix looking down on them. It's like, hey, like, they got studios, they got all this stuff and all the IPs that they'll gain. I can see why that would be a threat to other studios and stuff. And it's probably is why Paramount is becoming so aggressive with this hostile takeover bid. But hey, there is some downsides to whoever wins. And I'm not saying it's all roses, it's all merry. As we know, we've reported that Warner Brothers has high amount of debt. The winner, no matter who they are, is going to have budgets get tighter. Why? Because they spent so much money acquiring Warner Brothers. Like I said, if Netflix win, they're going to trim the fat. Even if Paramount wins, and they said all this stuff, and they said in their announcement about keeping the upper management in place and blah, blah. No, they're not. They're going to fire them people. Why? Because people ran that product into the ground. So why would they keep them? No, it doesn't make sense. So don't believe that. They'll probably take fewer risky projects on, more IP recycling, fewer green lits on, new IPs and new projects that could possibly turn into big deals and be great. This deal doesn't save creativity. It kind of centralizes power. Netflix changed the game once, and now everybody else is cannibalizing themselves to survive this hardship of financial tightness, as we reported, is going on and will continue to go on. Like we said, people money is getting tight. They watching the budgets. They looking at all this expenses. They like, nah, there's only two ways to make more money. You cut your expenses or you increase your profit margins. And I think no matter who buys Warner Bros. At the end of the day, their number one objective is cut expenses. So let's not play no games. But this still can fail. The government, the politics, all the debt that both of these companies or whoever the winner is that's going to win at the end of the day. Adding debt on does not equal strength or stability. If anything, it brings into question just how well your finances are when you bring in the type of debt that Warner Brothers has. But I'll turn it over to my cousin. What you got to say about all this nonsense going back and forth?
As my cousin stated, Paramount Global, they're making a hostile bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, you all may not know this, but Netflix's deal is contingent on just buying Warner Brothers. Paramount is, in my opinion, they coming at it gangster. They said, hey, they're only trying to they're trying to piecemeal this. We're going to take the whole thing. They're trying to make a hostile bid for Warner Brothers and Discovery. They're offering $30 per share, total valuation of $100. They are well overpaying. They're going for everything. No asset sales, no dividing, no breakup divisions. This would entail that Paramount will own Warner Brothers Pictures, HBO/Max. They do keep going back and forth with that. I don't know why. DC Entertainment, Warner Brothers Games, Turner Networks, Discovery Networks, entire IP and distribution pipeline. Why is this being considered, you ask? Well, in no indication has Warner Brothers Discovery leadership invited negotiations. CEO David Zaslav, that fucking name, I'm sorry, has publicly stated Warner Bros. Discovery is not for sale. A $30 share bid bypasses management and targets directly to the shareholder. They went past the board and went straight to the shareholders, putting pressure on them, a potential forced vote. That is why this is considered hostile. I ain't mad at them because, as we say all the time, competition. That's what makes it best for us. They say, hey, the board, y'all don't want to listen. You want to put nickel and dime and do favoritism? Okay, we're going to go straight to the board. I'm sorry, the shareholders, the people you answer to. Hostile angle suggests lack of confidence in Warner Bros. Discovery leadership, belief in that the company is undervalued and mismanaged. That $30 share price represents a over-depressed Warner Bros. Discovery stock price. Signals believe that IP value is greater than their market cap. The debt load is survivable with restructuring. Paramount believes Warner Bros. Issues are executive-based, not structural. There's strategic motive behind this. So, my cousin listed, Paramount lacks scale to survive long time. If anybody listening to this show or watches it has Paramount Plus, you can see that. That app, you can start the app up and go make a cup of coffee and come back, and it might not load all the way. But Paramount needs stronger IP library. And just as my cousin stated, prestige brands like HBO, global franchises, Wizarding World, acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery creates Instant, one of the largest media libraries ever assembled, leveraging streaming, licensing, and theatrical distribution. Warner Brothers is one of the most oldest and founding Hollywood production studios, companies, etc., however you want to put it. The streaming implications alone, Paramount Plus Max consolidation, massive overleap in content, subscribers, infrastructure. Likely outcome would be one service survives, the other one gets sunsetted or absorbed, which that's nothing new. Reports have already come out because of Disney struggling. They're looking to sunset Hulu. They're going to shift everything into Disney Plus because Hulu has its people. Disney Plus shredding them. Warner Brothers Games, no breakup clause. Netflix is trying to undermine and don't really care about Netflix. They say they're worthless to them, and that makes sense. Don't make games. Streaming platform. They make content. So the gaming to them is But the gaming division remains intact. Likely consequences of that, heavy focus on monetization of their IPs, a la DC, Mortal Kombat. And to me, that's a problem that Warner already has already. So Paramount might want to not look into that because that's one of the reasons why these franchises are going bad as they are. It does confirm gaming is viewed as an IP exploitation arm, not an independent pillar. So either one who gets them, the gaming might be out the door, no matter what the hell they say. I don't know why Paramount is sitting here making promises talking about we're not going to let people go or fire them. That's the same shit Microsoft said to get through the FTC trials to get Activision Blizzard. And what happened when that deal went through? They started firing motherfuckers. 1900 was the first regulatory reality. So this is where this is where it gets real. The $108 billion everything acquisition would face massive Department of Justice antitrust review, FTC scrutiny, the EU competition authorities getting involved because we just had Microsoft and Activision go through this shit. They looking at it like, hey, you motherfuckers is trying to get too big for your britches. Key concerns being too much IP plus distribution plus streaming power under what? What'd you say, Miss? One roof. And Not just the U.S. Countries alone cannot have that. That causes problems. Many analysts believe approval odds will be extremely low without concessions. A no breakup stance is the biggest fucking red flag. At least Netflix was smart enough to say, hey, you take Discovery out the table and we'll just take the Warners. Paramount, no. We want it all. We want all of it. And the narrative has traction now. Warner Bros. Discovery is heavily debt ridden. Stock price disc versus IP strength. Hollywood is in consolidation survival mode right now. And here you come going straight to shareholders saying, hey, we are not willing to pay what you all think y'all are. We're willing to give you some more. Immediate premium satisfaction. Exit over long-term uncertainty because people, you may not know this, AT&T has been trying to get rid of Warner. 1 or 2 years ago, they was trying to do this same very thing, and Paramount and someone else had made a bid, and they was like, hey, that's too low. And they weren't biting, so they retracted it and just said, hey, we'll try to make this work. But the money they're bringing in, it ain't enough. Hogwarts Legacy brought in over $1 billion. And they said, yo, that still just wasn't enough. That made a tickle in their debt, not to mention interest that are right now. It is one of the reasons inflation is rampant. Bottom line, $30 a share, billion hostile bid, everything on the table. It represents a vote of no confidence in current leadership, belief that IP is being squandered, and a last grasp of consolidation in play by legacy media. Because I say legacy because Netflix, even though it's been around for a while, they are still the new kid on the block. How they do things and their success, nobody else does that. Everyone has tried to shit on Netflix, and then now look at them. People are scrounging to put their content back on Netflix to get some of their money because Netflix ain't hurting. Whether real or theoretical, the idea highlights one truth. And I'm going to leave it at that. My body got to be careful now.
Yo, yeah, because it's getting crazy outside. I'm sure very shortly. I mean, I've heard some things on the internet. They saying that the Paramount deal is already going to get rejected, but you know they have to review the deal. I think they got so many days to yay or nay it.
Since they went to the shareholders directly, they have 10 days to review it.
So I mean, at the end of the day, listen, we'll have to see. Honestly, I think there's a whole reason why Netflix is already saying, "Hey, yo, that game shit, nah, bro." And we got another topic for that later on. So I'll kind of delve more into that. But as far as this situation here, listen, it's just. I feel like Paramount is that asshole on eBay that drives up the betting price. You know you ain't buying this shit. You being an asshole. What are you doing, bro? Like, I feel like Paramount is being that asshole. Like, go away. Go away.
That is the best comparison.
Listen, Paramount know they ain't winning. They know they ain't getting this shit. They just trying to drive up the price to be assholes on Netflix. But you know what? At the end of the day, Netflix got it if they want to pay for it. Honestly, if Netflix wanted, they could take everything. But they like, nah, bro. Listen, nope. We're not taking on automatic L's, all right, starting up. And I think the gaming division is kind of viewed as an automatic L, at least for the next 5 years. And I'll get into that later, like I said. But yeah, I think Paramount is just being some assholes, especially how they did it. They did nasty work, going straight to the shareholders. Come on, dog. That's not, see, and everybody in business is probably talking shit about them right now.
That was a gangster move. They said, hey, you ain't gonna listen to me? Hey, I'm gonna go to your parents, young man. You won't hear me out. You ain't heard the last of this.
Listen, and listen, I think too, going forward, if Paramount ever try to buy anything else, because this is going to keep happening as the financial situation worsens, but I think they're going to kind of shun themselves out of future bids just because how they did this so nasty and not by the book. Because listen, why was you in the betting process when Netflix was betting against other people, driving up the price? Why you didn't do it that way? You being an asshole, coming in the 9th hour or straight to shareholders. If I was Netflix, baby, I'm telling everybody, hey, this shit ever happens again, we icing out Paramount. They ain't never getting shit in the future. And That's how dirty shit happens in the industry. So I can believe that. But this is the last thing I want to ask the audience. If this deal happens, who actually wins at the end of the day? Is it the studios? Is it the creators? Or is it nobody? Because that's a real valid prediction. Nobody can win at the end of the day. And all of us as consumers can get fucked by this deal. Because I'm sure this deal is going to come with some price increases. Some of your favorite shows probably going to get cut. The gaming division probably going to be on its last leg, whether it's included or not included. Look, I know people that likes Discovery Plus content. Hey, there's no telling. This can go either way. But let us know how you feel in the comments below. Do you agree with a lot of the points, or do you disagree with a lot of points, or do you see this as another perspective that could benefit studios and creators and all the consumers involved? Let us know in the comments below.
And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, Are You Not Entertained?